everybody. Welcome to a special presentation of Good Society with a bunch of friends of mine. So this is going to be great. Like, I never not play with a bunch of friends of mine, but these are special friends of mine, and it will be a newbie game for one of us. So this is going to be fantastic. My name is Kat. Good Society is a Jane Austen game. I rarely play it that way, but today we are. We're going to do Jane Austen this time, so it's going to be great. I'm going to ask my cast to introduce themselves because they're awesome. So why don't we start with someone I get to play with all the time, and today is a bonus and exceptional adventure. So please, let's welcome Preston. And we won't ask you who you're really playing, though I think you have notes on that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Preston. No preference on pronouns. And yeah, Kat I play in her Tuesday night games all the time. And she has been in several of my games, and we have played in games together. A lot of history there. Pre-pandemic history.
Pre-pandemic history. That sounds that sounds almost indecent. So, please, let's welcome next someone I also now get to play a lot with, and that is fantastic and a welcome change. So please, let's welcome Liam, who also doesn't have a character yet. We're not going to worry about characters. Characters don't exist yet.
So my name's Liam O'Brien. On IMDb, I think I'm Liam O'Brien 31 because there's a lot of Liam O'Briens. And yeah, I've been playing in role-playing games for, like maybe near 40 years now, but I'm just so impressed with all the new stuff that's been happening in the last 10 years that it's just so exciting for me to come back to them and no longer have to be killing orcs.
No, we're not going to do Good Society and orcs. So from the ridiculous to the sublime, please rescue us. Someone I have played with multiple occasions, and we'll play again with later this week. So this is going to be a doubleheader for me. So let's welcome Talia.
Hello. The screaming of the crowd. I'm Talia Trazo. I have played tabletop games for about 10 years. And I used to have the tragic story, always the DM, never the PC. But in the last couple years, I think possibly because of COVID, everybody had a little more free time. I've just been a player in so many games. It's been wonderful. So I'm really excited to be here and finally dragging not kicking and screaming, willing sacrifice my partner Manny into the tabletop world.
That feels like a better introduction than I could make for Manny. So why don't we just talk with Manny real quick?
Oh, hi there. I'm Manny Klosker. So as Talia mentioned, I am a total newbie to this world. I've never played a role-play game, but I've seen it played. So I am here to learn, among these stalwarts and see if I have, if I make a fool of myself. I don't know, but it's all good. I am here for the fun. Thank you.
Let me tell you my secret, Cap. I'm always making a fool of myself. Yes. So Talia, the answer is that you play GM-less games, and like if you're really clever, what you do is you go to a convention and you get your GM's badge, so you don't have to pay for the con by running 3 GM-less games, which I've totally done.
That is genius.
Thank you. Okay, so Good Society is a game by the excellent Story Brewers role-playing company. They are just producing games right and left lately. They have a new one coming out called Fight with Spirit, which is every anime sports fantasy you ever want to do. I just played in that. We were a lady cricket team for a college in 1870s England. That was fantastic. I played an honorable. I've never played an honorable before. But maybe today as well. Who knows? And yeah, so how does this work? Well, we're going to play main characters who are going to be the main characters of a Jane Austen novel. And we're going to play a bunch of connections who are there to make people's lives miserable. So, for example, Lizzie Bennet, main character. Mrs. Bennet, connection. Mrs. Bennet, the most unappreciated character in literature. We stand Mrs. Bennet in this house. She's the only one who is willing to do the work. Everybody loves Mr. Bennet, but he sat in his library and like, well, I guess my daughters will just starve then. Alrighty. So a few of us we're using a playset from the excellent expansion for Good Society called Love and Longing, which had a bunch of new desires. This one is particularly about people coming back and trying to resolve stuff from their past. So that's going to be fantastic. And some of us have chosen some people. So Liam has grabbed a new arrival, and Preston has grabbed the heir. And you, Talia, you have grabbed the meddler, who is a member of the peerage. Manny is you are the dependent, which is fun, which means you are growing up living on the good sufferance of someone else. So that will be an interesting thing to explore. And that means you fools have left the hedonist available for me. You fools. I was down to playing either the meddler or the hedonist, but you made this so easy for me. Oh, why would you? So I'll grab the hedonist. Who comes from humble origins, but that's okay. I have an idea. So you can claim your characters by putting in your player name on the top and your pronouns if you want to, and then we'll start working out some of these details. So if you have a character name, go right ahead and punch them in there. We should probably keep an eye on ages because I think some of these people are supposed to marry each other potentially. So I mean, depends how realistic Jane Austen you want to do. I mean, don't think too hard about the age difference between Mr. Knightley and Emma. I know what they did in the recent movie, which is fantastic, but that's not what's in the book.
I'm going to rough in an age of 28, but that will probably change since the childhood proposal and current day have to be a matching set of time.
Super. I mean, proposal or arrangement?
I would prefer if the person that the lieutenant proposed to was alive at the time when he was shoved into the Royal Navy at 8 years old. But it doesn't have to be,
And general quick time period question. So is Princess, I believe, Catherine, is she alive or is she deceased already?
Wait a minute, what? Who?
Princess, isn't it Princess Catherine or is it Princess Charlotte that I'm thinking of? She died at 21, only daughter of Henry IV.
Henry IV?
Am I thinking this right? Hold on.
Henry IV of England or France?
Yeah. Regency Princess England. Prince Charlotte of Wales. She died.
Was the daughter of George IV.
George IV. Thank you.
George. Yes.
Too many old white men.
Okay, there's two Henry IVs, not within 400 years of this. Well, actually, no. The second one was Henri. But Henry IV of England was a lot of fun. Henry IV of France, there's the guy you want to party with.
But Charlotte of Wales died November of 1817. So are we setting this?
We're probably a little before that. Yeah, I mean it's difficult to tell when the Austen novels are actually set, and some of that is because she wrote Pride and Prejudice in the 1790s, but it didn't get published until the 1800s. There is that weird thing in all the Austen novels is there's a war on. You guys do know that, right? Like there's a war on, right? But that's the thing. In Pride and Prejudice, when she was writing it, there wasn't really for England. but it comes in a little bit. Like I haven't read Northanger Abbey, and I haven't read Persuasion, but like it comes in a little bit into Mansfield Park because what Fanny's brother is in the Navy, and as was Austen's family. She had a couple of RN officers in her family.
So if it is Regency era, that would be like what, the 1820s, maybe
earlier. So
10 or
as
something.
late, yeah, as late as 1820, I think, but basically from about 1800 to 1820. I forget exactly when George III is first debilitated. He has a couple. It happens. It goes on and off for a while before George IV finally takes over.
Right.
George IV is out fairly early, like in the mid 1820s. I think he dies. So we don't have to have a specific year, but it's around there. This is pre-steam. This is a nice little town in the west of England. The area around Bath is basically where it is. I mean, that's Austen country. It's about a day's ride to London is how you can probably think of this. It's all English gentry country, and yeah, so like that's where all our olives are basically. That's like Emma, that's Pride and Prejudice. They're all in that like nice little country town in the west of England.
These nice little country towns outside of London seem to be where all the drama happens in the world. All the weird, unexplained murders.
And one of these days, I'll get a Middlemarch game of Good Society up. It will be an epic thing. We'll have to have like 8 sessions or so. So the way people should do this is come up with a name, come up with an approximate age. If you have some character notes, write those in. And then we'll have to come up with a positive and a negative reputation condition. And I can get you a link to a document that has some ideas based on your family background, or you can just come up with some. That's what I usually do. But, a reputation tag should be pithy, like one word or a short phrase is good. Like, let's see, I'll come up with a couple right here. So, for my character, I've come up with both sparkling as a positive tag and slender as a negative tag. So, you should have one of each unless you're directed to otherwise, and I don't think we have anybody who has that.
I'm having trouble coming up with something positive for my character.
What do you mean?
Just in my head, she's meddlesome and sort of like conniving and not very pleasant to be around. But
yes, but she keeps the standards of society. Things would fall apart without people like her.
That's very true.
It would just all be anarchy and ugh.
Yes. But I to condense it into a word. Traditional. I don't know.
What?
Ladylike.
Ladylike. Yeah, ladylike, I guess. She's perfectly ladylike. That's something someone might say about my character. She's perfectly ladylike.
It can be taken so many different ways. Ooh, look at that. Technology. So I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So I want to just run through the collaboration, please. I have set the things where I think we should start, but let's discuss all of them. So there's a bunch of things that we want to go through. What tone should the story have? I've put it on romantic comedy. That seems like a place we can all aim at. Of course, Preston and I will probably be the drama queens over in the corner because I have 2 modes of playing Good Society. One is I am a very sad person. The other is I'm actually playing dangerously as on Society while everybody else is doing their own thing.
No. You always play dangerously as on Society. Just sometimes you're sad and sometimes you're not.
So it is to be war then. So in romantic comedy, our actions have consequences, but past misdemeanors can be recovered from. Fortunate and humorous coincidences can occur, and triumphant moments are possible. Connections respect their own interests, but can be swayed. Society is quick to judge, but also quick to forget. Romantic comedy is approximately where most of the Austen novels end up, and almost all of the movies. So, how important is historical accuracy? We're going to call that somewhat. We'll try and get it right where it counts. We're never going to stop the game to find out a historical fact. During breaks, we can call other players with more knowledge when something seems particularly important. If we're not sure, we'll make the best guess we can. I think most people are approximately familiar with what you can expect to find in a Jane Austen novel. So, like, there's no telegrams, there's no steam engines. You have guns or flintlocks still, or no, actually they're switching over to percussion locks. But you see, nobody needs to know that. I'm the
No,
only
it's
one
not.
that knows.
Yeah.
So let's not worry about that. And like with the nice thing about Austen is how much we want to talk about, the worldwide conflagration of the Napoleonic Wars is completely up to us. As a general note, the story brewers point out that while gender was an enormous concern, Jane Austen's race was not. She had black characters in her later works that didn't come in. There's a long thing going on, and nobody's talking about in Mansfield Park. Like, just exactly how do you make your money? I mean, Jane Austen knows how they make their money. It ain't pretty, but she doesn't really call anybody out on it, which is unfortunate. How will we treat the gender power balance? I have put this on historical. That's where I like to play. I can be swayed. I'm just the facilitator here today, but that's where I like to, because it's hard for me to make it happen otherwise. If it's historical, it just means standard Regency patriarchy. In England, that was especially sucky as it was harder for women to own property in their own right, but they could. But there were all kinds of ways to screw things up, like the major plot point of Pride and Prejudice is that the estate is entailed and can only be inherited by a male line relative. That was not true of every estate. It's just the fucking Bennets had their stuff messed up. English nobility is extraordinarily restrictive in how it works as opposed to other people. Like, in Russia, everybody who's a relative of the title basically can use the title, but not in England, not even close. England had a very small actual peered aristocracy. Other countries had more. That England had a huge gentry class, which a lot of countries didn't have. And that's where we all are, except for, Talia's character is actually in the peerage. Congrats.
Thank you.
And I put how much hidden information will be used in the game, and I put that on none. This is my preferred setting. Through many, many long years of role playing, I have decided that secrets kind of suck. Secrets are great for characters. For players, generally speaking, if you know somebody else has a secret, then you can actually play towards it. That's where I like to leave it. We can change any of these. That I've made my case for all of them. Is there any that people don't like? We can talk about. All right, that sounds good. Is there anything our game should avoid? Hey, I'll just toss one right in there. Buzz. So we'll start right there. Let's not have that. So, let's not have sexual assault. That's just not happening in our story. Is there anything else? I mean, a lot of people like to have things like no cruelty to animals or children.
And I did rewatch the getting started of this game today by Haley and what's the other young lady's name?
Haley and V, and I forget who their player was in that game. I don't remember his name.
But something they mentioned that I need to start incorporating more in my games. Things that we should avoid should also be things that we don't want to see just because we're tired of seeing them.
That's totally okay too.
So the example from that game, they said they didn't want like an altercation. Basically, somebody's ready to get married and somebody comes in at the last second and says, "But wait, you can't marry for this reason." They asked that not be in the game just because they're tired of it. Is there anything of either nature that we don't want to see in this game. I will throw in let's avoid slavery. Let's not have anyone make money off of slavery. It exists in this time, but I'd rather steer clear.
This is something we will revisit periodically. Awesome. Most of the people on this table know it already, but let's go over it because it's important. So we're going to use what's called the X card. The X card in this case will not be a physical card, but something that we can call when we need it. You can say X card. You can frantically wave and try and make that symbol. You can type something into the chat. You can also just say, like, please, for the love of God, stop. And the X card means that if something comes into the game that you don't want, we will stop and we'll remove it. We'll maybe ask some questions about what we need to do to back up to, but we will not ask why. That is not anybody's business. If you don't want it in the game, just X card it. We'll remove that content and move on. Normally I also have lines of veils, but that's what we're doing right now, so we don't have to worry about that. So that's just something to keep in mind. This is to make sure that we can be safe. You know, sometimes people will want to introduce something and it will push up against the edge, and if you know that the other person can stop you from doing it, then it's a lot safer for everybody involved. So I'll ask, is there anything we'd like to see in this game, especially?
Oh my gosh, can we have the trope where someone gets pushed in a lake or something?
Yeah.
You know, someone's got to fall into a lake and get their beautiful clothes wet, or it's not Jane Austen.
No worries. Well, it isn't
Or
a
a
kind
river.
of Jane Austen. I mean, given that it was Colin Firth, it's a kind I'm okay with. I don't think I'm the only one here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There needs to be a ball.
Yes.
Sure.
Or of some kind. Maybe not a ball, but at least a.
Oh, please! There's gonna be so
come
many
on.
balls.
There's gotta be at least
there's
a
a
ball.
level, right? There's like levels of between. Well, is this a ball or is this a dance or
An
is
ultra
it a
fancy ball?
Yes. I don't know if there's an ultra fancy ball.
I'm gonna put it in as an ultra fancy ball. So
we have old money, we have peerage in this game. There's going to be a
That's right.
fancy ball.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? All right. Stop sharing my screen. Okay.
I kind of want to see people. I don't know why. I maybe this might be my character, but if it's other characters, I'm perfectly happy. I want people, one couple, and it can be main characters or side characters, start off as rivals and end up as lovers.
Rivals to lovers tag, huh?
Mm-hmm.
An Austen of our own.
Do characters ever die in Jane Austen novels? Not main characters, obviously not.
Trying to remember.
Is it a deathless paradise that we are stepping into?
Yeah, I guess so. But there are a lot of widows and widowers.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
But they just sprout out of the ground, right? We never know about what happened.
Why, Liam, do you want there to be an on-screen death or an important?
No, more of a very romantic sort of like someone is dying slowly throughout the entire course of the thing, and it happens in like the last chapter that they finally expire. Someone's like father is gone to wherever we are to take the waters or the air.
You got your Charles Dickens and my Jane Austen.
Oh my God, you're right. I'm so sorry.
And we are literally in the air. We are,
Yeah.
we are in Bath country. We are in the
I think
air.
that slow dying thing tends to crop up more in romantic when you get into
Yeah, no,
romantic
it's the
fiction.
next era. It's not this era. You're
Oh,
right.
I'm trying to think. Well, like Casaubon dies in Middlemarch. The creep. There's a guy. I mean, his only problem is he didn't die quick enough because he's just screwed everything up after that.
But I do like this. Maybe there's an important family member who is slowly dying, and it's like a clock for someone.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we want to add any mechanics for it, but it was just a thought.
Put it down there with a question mark instead of an exclamation point, so that maybe we'll get to there.
I mean, I offer up any and all of my family members to be slowly dying in this if
we'll get
we want
there.
to do that.
All right. So, why don't we introduce our characters so we can start building relationships and maybe create some connections for them. So, since I opened my big yap, I will introduce Lucy Shannon, who's 26. She is an actress. Originally from Dublin, but she has worked very hard to get rid of that accent and establish something a little more RP. She has mostly been known for her comic work, but she actually played Celia in As You Like It, which went surprisingly well, and she's going to be in a revival of Ben Johnson's "'Tis a Pity She's a Whore." So she may actually have surprising range and depth. She is a Florida drinker, all-around wit, and everybody's friend while the money lasts. Well, Preston, why don't you introduce Nora?
I certainly will. I'm leaving her last name empty for the moment, just in case she becomes somebody else's close relative. Eleanor, known affectionately as Nora, she is the eldest daughter of Sir Blank and Lady Blank, raised at her seaside estate. Nora spends much of her days as a young lady of genteel birth. Learning to play the pianoforte rather well, she can speak French and Italian to a nice degree. Her Italian is a bit stronger. She's also dipped into Latin through her love of botany and maintaining the grounds. She's never been a great admirer of balls and public outings, preferring a few strong connections over many lesser ones. Some take this as her being aloof. Some think she is just shy. Two brothers, one sister. Sister's the youngest of the family, and 14, so the children range from 14 to 23. Her greatest friend in the world is Lady Blank, Duchess of Blank, who she has known since childhood and who has made quite a name for herself at court as a great beauty. And Eleanor, to dip into the desires a little bit, she is recovering from the breaking off an engagement. And I have to create and spread a negative rumor that reflects why the town thinks I broke off the engagement.
Oh yeah, I gotta do that too.
And she is formally courting another of the main characters. And we'll put a pin in that for now.
I should point out that, Lady Blank of Blank is just very 19th century. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Jean Valjean was the mayor of a town so poor that they could only afford the first initials of their name. Well, yeah. Why don't you choose Persephone Davenport?
Yes. She is meddlesome, unpleasant, has been described as pinched. She's the niece of a Duke Davenport, who gambled away all the family fortune, ruined their reputation, and it has led young Lady Davenport to become increasingly desperate to save her family name in any way that she can. And you can smell it on her. um, one of my things here is to reestablish local influence and adopt an heir. So I think I'm reestablishing it from my uncle's foolishness.
Do you think you need to punch that up your age, or are you adopting an heir for the rest of the fam?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do have to punch up my age.
I think that card
me
originally had
think.
some like note on that, like it's an aged desire.
Oh,
But you
what do you
don't
think?
have to
Should
have.
I
I
be
mean,
in my 40s, in my 50s, in
let's
my
see.
60s?
That's up to you. I
What
mean,
seems
you could also
reasonable?
play it younger, and you're just like, I'm not. You're a spinster, so you're not going to get married now. 27 is
Yeah.
already pushing it. So
Yeah. And 40s
I'll do
is
35. How about
ooh,
35? I'm definitely
35.
not getting married at
That's
that point.
yeah, that's the uncanny valley there. Yeah.
Yeah. No one wants me now. I'm 35. Perfect.
Liam, tell us about Lieutenant Albert Dunwoody.
Well, Lieutenant Dunwoody's he's at some point in his youth, which is depicted, he proposed to someone here and said, we're going to get married when we grow up. And then around about 8 years old, he either enlisted in or was sent away to the Royal Navy, and he was able to dodge ball and shot for the next 20 years and is still alive. He most recently was acting commander of his ship because his captain was incapacitated by an 8-foot splinter. During that time, they captured 2 French ships, and he was given his captain is not dead, and he was given commission. So he's now an actually commissioned lieutenant in His Majesty's Royal Navy, with a hell of a lot of prize money right now. But he's here, wherever this is, waiting for his next ship assignment.
You and me, Bertie, we're going to be great friends. All right, and let's talk about Marmaduke Huckleberry. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Are you of the Winston Huckleberries?
Well, born to a shoe baron. So I'm born to a shoe merchant. I am a 25-year-old, well-heeled young man who was sent to Eton and read at Oxford with moderate success thanks to my family's money. I am a vapid youth who believes in blowing my father's money on vaudeville girls in London clubs. My papa is Mr. Huckleberry. All of Britain wears our hides. Papa is a self-made man who started his life as a child of a tannery worker and, grew very rich. My papa impressed Mr. Willow, the tannery owner, and married his daughter, my mama, and that's how we came into money. There is a little bit of a side story. My uncle Marshall moonlighted as a sailor aboard HMS Victory at the time of the Battle of Trafalgar. In fact, it was his smoking that was responsible for all the cannon fire that the ship drew and landed up, in the killing of Lord Nelson. And so he got a severe dressing down, and it's been an on our family. And my papa is determined to wipe this blot off the family name. My parents recently purchased the Pembroke Manor in Pembrokeshire from the Earl of Pembroke, whose family was in financial ruins. So again, hasn't gone down very well with the aristocracy that knows this. So Papa and Mama would like me to marry well into Old English aristocracy. I'm pursuing Talia's character because I am somehow drawn to her, but I just heard that she's growing to be an old spinster, so might not be very suitable. I really cannot stand her meddlesome ways, but I am hoping to ensnare a young lady who might be, influence.
10,000 pounds a year.
My papa has promised me a handsome sum of 10,000 pounds a year and ownership of the manor, should I choose to get engaged this season.
Oh, wow.
Alrighty then. So now we have relationships. Here, let me. I can continue to do this. What power I have? Here's the R map, just so we can keep this straight. So here are all our characters, and here's the relationship, and I can draw connections when we choose. But as they are, Lucy is the mentee of somebody. Nora was formerly courting somebody. Persephone is rivals with somebody. Marmaduke is related to somebody, probably the person they're staying with. And Bertie is obviously in love with someone, probably the person that you had that childhood engagement to. So, does anybody want to offer their relationship to someone else?
I should either only be betrothed to Persephone or Nora. I do think it would be hilarious if Bertie, when he was 8, was said to 15-year-old Persephone, I'm going to marry you when I come into my own. I think that would be absolutely hilarious.
Disgusting. I love it.
Yeah, so the problem, if you're obviously in love with Nora, then who is Nora formally courting? I mean, there are lots of options. That's the only issue we would have with what would otherwise be fairly straightforward. But certainly Nora could have been formally courting Marmaduke. I mean, that would be the logical answer. You're the perfect candidate there. Not me.
And also, I wasn't sure how to get Bertie in with Lucy because it doesn't really work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does?
Or you could be in love with me. I don't care.
Right, but how did I propose to you when I was 8? Was I in Dublin for some reason? Like, and I tracked you down to Bath.
Were you 8? I mean, you could have been.
The desire in the relationship don't have to specifically have a connection, do they?
No.
Oh, well, see, but that's the thing. It's like, I think it's possible that I proposed to Persephone and I'm trying to make good on it, but in fact, I'm in love with Lucy. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Bertie could. How old is Bertie?
He's 28.
Okay.
We can make Persephone a little bit younger, and then that will all work out.
Okay. That works. How old should I be?
30 would be still, still spinster range.
Okay.
Okay.
Oops. 3.
So there's only 2 obvious candidates to be my mentor, and that would be Marmaduke and Persephone.
I can't see myself necessarily taking on an actress as a mentee. I feel like I would look down my nose at that a little bit.
Well then, in that case, how about Marmaduke? Have you been bankrolling me and guiding me through society, and I pissed you off somehow?
I think that is wonderful, yes, because I'm also into vaudeville girls. So, I am into I live in that world of stage actors and so on. So totally.
That makes sense. All right then. That's me. That's me taken care of for the initial one. So who are you related to then, Marmaduke?
I think I am related to. It's a good point. So, and does it have to be relation, or could I be really friends with or trying to use someone's influence?
It's probably stronger if we keep it as some kind of distant relationship, at least.
Relationship. Okay.
Maybe it's relations, so it could be cousins.
Well, I could be cousins with, let me see.
Or by marriage. Relations by marriage.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking Nora. Because let me read Nora's background. Sorry, I apologize. I am trying to get. She's the eldest daughter of Sir and Lady. Well, maybe Nora's parents are rich relations who are also titled. And I somehow, came to know that we are related, but they wouldn't scoff at us for the life of them because they are too, we are basically my family name is in the mud because of what happened with Uncle Marshall.
I think
Maybe.
if it's your family, I think it's the family you married into, because mine is old money and your family is new money.
But that makes sense. That a relationship of the Huckleberries married into your family,
Exactly.
like your cousin married his cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, like distant relations, but it's not something you could really presume on. Yeah, and it certainly is no obstacle to a love match. You two kids.
You crazy.
You crazy kids, you. Yeah, there you go. Actually, there you go. Alrighty. Well, Nora?
Okay, this is the big question. Who was she formerly courting? I don't really want to have a loop here going back to Marmaduke. I want to kind of keep the chain going. So the only option in this good society of ours, is Bertie.
Well, I mean, there's another option.
I mean, there is.
But it wouldn't have been courting.
That's true. But if we are willing to bend that, it is a romantic comedy. We have only decided that we're not going to be wholly historically accurate. So I'm down.
But it could be Bertie. It probably is better if it's Bertie. Let's not make our lives unnecessarily complicated.
Well, to keep the chain going, it either has to be Bertie or Persephone. Persephone, do you think we were close?
Oh my gosh.
Just
I
some
don't
just
know.
pals, just gal pals.
I was thinking
Pal
you would be
around.
my rival because I
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
because
Oh
I
no,
couldn't
but
think of
Nora's
myself.
got a thing in already, so she can't be a rival
Oh
now.
no.
But
Oh
I could.
gosh. You could.
Mm-hmm.
You could be my rival.
But I could be your rival too.
But would I hold any of you in such esteem as to give you the title of rival? Wouldn't you both just be so far beneath me?
Very
That's
petty
true. Both of
rivalry.
you could be my rival. Oh gosh.
I'm down to play this out, Talia. That we.
I think it depends on who I choose as my rival is who you choose to court because I feel like I could
Do we leave it up to
guess.
do we leave it up to old Bertie? Who does Bertie prefer to be obviously in love with?
Oh well,
Well,
obviously courting or formerly courting and or and obviously
obviously,
in love with.
love
They're
don't have
not.
to be the same person,
Yeah.
and better if they're not.
Probably. It would explain a great many things.
Mm.
I think it would be more delicious for the drama if it was Nora and Persephone, and to me it makes more sense because Nora's old money comes from the gentry. Persephone is peerage; so they have more in common.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we did. We got close.
And then what was it that that made me oh my goodness, but now it has to be broken off and the whole town has to know about it. That is
Yeah, it's
Well,
over.
certainly your
It's been
friendship was
over.
shattered. You used
Yes.
to be so close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were such good friends. They used to share the same room together whenever they would spend the night at each other's.
Why on earth would they break it off? Doesn't make
It was
any sense.
such a Christian fellowship.
But why Persephone? Why? And what playful nickname did Nora have for you?
For me, oh, it's like
Dear.
Sephi or something.
Sappy.
Cerberus.
Sappy, like
Sappy.
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 Yeah. That's too good. I don't know. They always end with like a Y or an IE. The upper class British.
Oh my God! What if she
It was
called you
Percy.
Percy? Yes,
Percy.
Damon, I had the same thought.
Yeah.
It was Percy, and all of her letters are addressed to Percy. And yes, oh God, I love it too much. And her whole family thought that she was
Yeah.
You wouldn't know Percy. He lives in Canada. He's an officer in the RN in Canada, in the Newfoundland Scoundrel.
He's
Squadron.
real, and he lives in Canada, and he has a great family. Yeah.
Okay, that means that we've got rivals and obviously in love, and the only two candidates are Bertie and Lucy. For rivals, and the only two candidates for obviously in love are Percy and Lucy.
Mhm.
So, Bertram, Perse,
Mhm.
how do you want to play this?
I
I'm up for
choose
either.
to be rivals with Lucy, I think.
All right.
But then,
But then you are locked out of this. Is that how? Oh no. Okay. Well, then I'll be
Wait.
rivals.
Did you dump me for Lucy, and now Bertie has stolen her affections, and that's why
No.
you're rivals with Bertie?
No, I don't think. Well,
Wait.
I don't think I would be interested. I think I have to.
Excuse me, I'm very attractive. Have
I
you
would
seen
have
my
to hate
portrait?
you though, because you would be everything that I would desire but couldn't have for myself. You know, you're charming, you're attractive, but you're poor.
But I look rich.
Yeah.
Or something I had played with in my head a little bit was that Percy's family had something to do with Bertie getting sent off as a child
Yeah.
because of his ill-advised young foolish proposal.
Yes. Oh
My
yes, that's
family
even
Are they the
better.
ones who are keeping you on shore?
Yeah.
Well, and I thought that maybe they would just be like, well, he's sent off to the Navy. Oh, well, if he dies serving his country, too bad. And then all of a sudden he shows up here. Not only does he survive, but now he's a captain, basically. This is unbelievable. So I could be rivals with you, Bertie.
I like that, actually. They're the ones
Okay.
keeping you on shore. How many
Mhm.
times have you been passed up on the post list now?
Yeah.
It really shouldn't take this long. There's ships getting sunk all the time, and captains dying. I should be at sea.
And that means that you're obviously in love with me.
Mhm.
Oh, hey, who can blame you, lad?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
All right.
There's really not much
Wow.
of a choice.
That is a mess. I love it.
It's a
Definitely a mess.
beautiful circle.
Beautiful.
All right. So we have some paperwork to do.
Yeah, Lucy has a hot profile picture.
Yeah,
Damn
seriously.
straight. I'll be wanted to swipe right.
Mary, did you put down the name of your the family you married into?
Oh, the family that I... Sorry, you're asking me?
Yes, because you mentioned you'd married into my family, so I'm just... If you already gave them a name, I can pull it from your...
Oh, no, I didn't put down any name, but we can... Yeah. Do you have...
I just left it blank just in case I happen to be like a sister.
Let's see. Royal posh names.
There's a
Redmond,
website that
Megan,
I found for peerage last names.
Lennox.
That's how I found mine.
So the Regency name generator.
Oh, there you go.
I'm down for a Lennox.
How about Du Maurier?
Ooh,
Du Maurier. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Warrior.
Which way is that spelled in Anglican?
Let me
Same
do
way.
that. Yeah. Let me just put that in. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
And it sounds vaguely maritime as well. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the Isle of Man, probably.
Not peerage, but your family came over with a certain, hitchhiking
with the
French,
conquerors.
French,
Yeah, with the
French
conquerors.
Normans. So I have ticked off. I have managed to tick off my mentor, and Nora, you have broken off a friendship, close friendship, very good close friend. I mean, you feel free to make the rumor like why was it so close? I don't know, but so yeah, Marmaduke, what did I do to get out of your good graces?
I think that I heard you. I heard you as I was passing your room. I heard you talk in your sleep about Percy, and I thought you were in love with Percy Shelley, and so I got really jealous because I didn't think so highly of Percy Shelley. And while he's in Italy,
I'm not
I
gonna
was
get it.
hoping that
Maybe
I'm a vain young man, and I thought you would, you would prefer a handsome fellow like me over some, sickly Shelley.
I'm not foolish. I've read the Midnight Society. I'm not gonna get in between Percy Shelley and Mary Shelley. She's gonna show up like sup fuckers.
But indeed, you were fondly remembering Persephone, I guess.
Okay.
Is that too implausible? Or it could be something more mundane. I can make up something. Maybe one of your friends is blackmailing me because I wrote her some love letters, and it could damage my prospects, and I am holding that against you because you introduced me to the woman.
Marmaduke thinks Lucy is selling blackmail secrets to someone. I'll put that down. So I went over to the rumor and scandal tab and entered that in.
Okay.
You'll notice that rumors can be spread. That means when they're spread, that means they are widely believed to be true. Rumors cannot be spread, in which case it's just people are talking about it. It's like, but when they're spread, they're widely believed to be true. So yeah, we also need to get a rumor from Nora about why you broke off the engagement
with Percy, so I would like to involve Percy.
Oh. with Percy, RN.
Yes. Sorry.
So we have
Lieutenant Percival Galahad. Arthur Percival Galahad.
Yep.
That's it. Royal Navy. Newfoundland Squadron. You wouldn't know him. He's famous in Canada.
Why did we break it off?
But I think what's going to be more important because the town has to care. So why has Persephone and Eleanor, why has their very close friendship ended, and what is the town's reaction? And that is therein lies the rumor.
Gosh, well, I think Persephone is one of those people where she's like, I don't like drama. And then drama follows her absolutely everywhere. She is the center of the drama. So it was probably really pretty public and very dramatic and just like
Here's the thing.
atomic bomb in the middle of the relationship.
My character has to be thought poorly of. I have to come out bad here. You
don't.
Okay.
Did you publicly snub a member of the peerage?
That has to have been what happened.
Oh my God.
It was after you took up with what's her name, and
Took up with? Took up with no one. This is slander against a member of the peerage.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
you are officially trolling for an heir, so I mean, it totally
you
makes
throw-
sense why you're hanging around with all these beautiful young women.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
did you throw a drink in Charlotte's face? Princess Charlotte's face?
did
Oh my
I?
gosh.
That would be big.
That would be
At
huge.
the
Can you
Wait,
king's
imagine?
birthday
Charlotte.
party, no less.
Wait, Charlotte the princess?
Yes.
What? Who would throw? No, my character would not. Definitely not Princess Charlotte's face. Fuck off.
Well, I mean, that would be a great reason for Percy to snub you.
It would be,
Such terrible manners you have.
yeah. Yeah.
No, my character would have more sense than that. I do think she would do. Let's see, if she had been invited. No, she also knows that I really like this idea of her best friend also having a connection to the court, and that would potentially damage their friendship. She did something similar.
Maybe it's a scandal because aristocracy is mortified when there is some sort of scandal involved where Nora was seen in poor light, and that's why Persephone doesn't want to associate with her.
A simple thing would be like you broke up with Persephone and you didn't invite her to a party, which would be insane.
How could you?
Okay.
So a public snub for something where you invited other members of the peerage would have been
Oh my gosh. Now I feel bad for Persephone. She's sitting at the window waiting to have a invitation delivered and it never comes. Terrible.
So you're looking for an heir, eh?
I am.
I am an actor.
I'm an actor.
Really quickly, while I have you, Talia, also, is my connection a relation of yours?
Your connection.
My peerage connection, who is my best friend.
I mean, all the peerage is related somehow. So yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yes, that's true. I should have been more specific. Is she a close connection of yours?
Could be.
I'm just trying to figure out if she has your last name.
Oh, I don't think so. I think the reason that I'm looking for an heir is because I'm one of the few of my name.
Courts. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something with John Waters and Divine, their Dabbridge Court. What am I thinking of?
I don't know. I looked up a peerage website and then I just picked one of the D names.
So let's take a little bit more time. Let's create maybe one connection and we'll go from there. So your connection should be someone that complicates your main character's life.
Someone that complicates their life. So that could be a family member or not a family member. Just anyone that... Okay.
Yeah.
Could it be the author of the local newspaper, for example? Something like that. Okay. I don't know if that's for me, but just throwing it out there.
Wait, did everyone? Oh no, but almost everyone chose father except for myself and Liam.
Father? Oh.
Duke Dabbridge Court, who's an uncle.
Oh, I thought it was father. Okay.
Yeah, my uncle.
The disgraced uncle.
Looks like we have everybody. So I'll just go first. My connection is Michael Shannon, who's 55. He's Lucy's father, and thinks that Lucy ought to share her good fortune with her old da. He's basically failed at a bunch of different careers, and yes, I did have fun looking up what some of those were. and currently is trying to sponge off her friends and is not above embarrassing Lucy to get more money. Tell us about Nora's friend Duchess Coventry.
Well, the Duchess is from the same area as most of the others, but she has moved away, married into the peerage, up from the gentry, and looks down her nose at most of it. Nora is one of the few things she can still tolerate. She really feels that Nora should come to London with her to find a suitable man. And she did know about Nora and Percy, and she has since had a talk with Percy in private to make sure that they keep their mouths shut, or they might have even more troubles at court.
So tell us about the Duke d'Abercourt, then, Dahlia.
A useless man. A waste of space. He's terrible. Gambled away all of our money, but I need him for allowance because he is, my benefactor. Basically, he's the family purse strings. So I have to play nice, and yeah, he's terrible.
Liam, tell us about Captain Fitzwilliam.
Captain Fitzwilliam was the very captain I mentioned in the backstory. He was recently very injured. He survived. I don't know how many parts have been removed by the surgeons. He has a very high opinion of Lieutenant Dunwoody. He's dependable, studious, gracious to a fault. However, he has no idea how to act in a modern society. He's been on ship for way too long. And he's constantly under the care of doctors and surgeons.
So what kind of a ship was the War Strike anyway?
It was a corvette. It was not a ship of the line. The fact that it even won any prizes was a complete trick of fate.
I think those were officially classified as sloops of war, but the Admiralty had their own classification of shit. It's weird. So tell us about Mortimer Huckleberry.
All right. Mortimer Huckleberry is a self-made man, my father, and he thinks I'm a bit of a liability. He's a liability child, and kind of peevish but indulgent parent relationship. Obviously, he would like me to marry well and redeem our family name, so he'll indulge me as long as he's also kind of this captain of industry type of guy. So he's very ends justify the means type of guy, and so he doesn't mind bribing his son with all kinds of things. Like, he doesn't have any intention of paying his son like £10,000 a year, but he just tells him that because he knows it'll get him motivated.
So there's probably like a north-south thing going on with your family too, right?
Yeah, very much so. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. England is two countries connected by a mutual love / hatred of Arsenal.
Of course. Yes. Yeah. It's a country run by a handful in the south.
Yeah, I know. It's
coming from Pembrokeshire.
Cool. All right then. Let's as our last act before we take a break. Who wants to play who among all these beautiful connections? Who wants to play Michael as Shannon? Who wants to embarrass poor Lucy?
I'm either down to play Michael or Mortimer.
I think I have to play Michael.
Go for it, Liam. So the easiest thing to do is just grab that little thing that has your name, copy it, and paste it into the player name, and that way it'll be color-coded. Yay.
So would everyone be okay if I took Mortimer?
I have no problem with that. Manny, it'll work for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my child, you're such disappointment. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
So, wow, I can play any of these 3 roles. They're all fine. Just let me know where you want me.
Oh, can I do Captain Fitzwilliam?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, Manny typed it as soon as you said that.
go ahead, Talia. I think you'll make a brilliant Captain Fitzwilliam.
Oh, sorry. No, you can be Captain
no,
Fitzwilliam.
no, please.
So, Manny, which one do you want? Duchess
sorry.
Helena or Duke Davenport?
I would say Duke Davenport. That's his name,
Thank
not
you,
Davenport, but Davenport.
Davenport.
Okay.
Wait.
Nobody's court.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? That's my name? Hang on.
Davenport. Yes.
Davenport.
Okay.
All right, I get
Cool.
to actually play a nice noble lady for once. I've done this before.
You have some teeth there.
I've played like well, she wasn't raised as a noblewoman though, was she?
She was not.
She was practical gentry who married up. So now we actually begin play. So the easy part's over, Manny. If you thought that was hard. oh, this is the part where we cause people to run screaming from the hobby, guys. No, everything is going to be absolutely fine. We're going to walk this thing carefully. So, before we begin, reminders, we have the resolve tokens if you want to have major changes happen in the story. We'll see how those go. I mentioned earlier that you can use the reputation tags to help if you want to. The way that works is you can spend a reputation tag and turn it into a resolve token. So if you spend a good tag of yours, that's fine. You're the only one that can spend it, and it turns right into a resolve token, and you do something with it. If you spend a negative tag, then it has to rebound upon you some bad way. So generally what happens is it turns into a resolve token, and you get it because you're the one damaging your own stuff, but you can use it later. The only trick with that is that other people can spend your negative tags. Don't be a bad boy. But let's talk about this event. What should it be? So maybe let's grab a time of year. So like the season to be in the country is generally the spring through the fall. During winter, people go back to London. That's also the time when theater starts happening. Of course, they have an expansive view of winter. We're like right on the edge of the little ice age. So, but generally, once the countryside is nice. So, do we want to start in spring or do we want to start in fall? Are we autumnal or are we beginning with new life?
Oh, springtime, right? Come on.
Okay. On in a summer season when I was shorter as a ship. Cool. So what's our event then? Then it sounds like we're in the country. So we're in this little town, which I believe is Hertfordshire or something like that, and it's the standard. It has some stupid little name like that. So of the people in this little group who would have country estates, that would seem to be Persephone and Eleanor as our likely leadies. So what's going on? Is there a ball? Is there a...
Is the lieutenant commissioned lieutenant? Are they staying with Eleanor? Did that letter of introduction happen?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't figured, like, that was something we talked about, but I'm not sure if that's a...
I think it would be a good thing if, like, it could be a good thing if you had this letter of introduction and maybe they're throwing the event to welcome you.
By the way, I'm pretty sure that your honor title is captain there, Bertie, because you were a commanding officer. Well, you were a commanding officer.
Oh, I was, but that was just for the one battle.
Well,
that's very sweet of you. I don't think I can do that.
Yes.
I mean, all right.
You can be correcting people all the time when they say that to you. Like your rank is still lieutenant, but like your address would be captain. So, right. So are you? So I guess you're staying with Eleanor, huh?
Yeah.
And Eleanor's throwing a ball.
Her family is.
And they made you invite Persephone.
They definitely maybe provide us Persephone.
The honorable Persephone.
Obviously, Marmaduke is invited as a member of the family.
Thank you.
And then, what business does Lucy of Shannon have there? What you tell us, Kat?
Well, I'm definitely staying in the countryside. I'm probably staying as a guest of Mortimer. So where is Mortimer staying? Are you staying with Persephone?
Where would Mortimer be staying? Yeah.
I mean, well, you're
Certainly we
related,
would have him.
but he's related to the Dumouriez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I guess so.
So
I would. We can, if we want to. My estate that large, let's do it. I will not say no. That we can host multiple people at a time.
I mean, you're gentry, so like you don't have to build this abbey. It's just you own it now.
Yeah.
It should be an abbey, shouldn't it? It should be an abbey or a
Please.
grange. It has to have a title like that.
A few years
Heatherton
ago, they just
Grange or
all abandoned it for
Whittlesworth Abbey.
reasons. And the Anglican Church just never did anything with it, so it's on our land anyway.
You have to be real peerage to afford an eccentric name like the Foxtails. I could be just there to perform.
Mm-hmm.
You could also you're just the hottest young performer, even if you're not performing, just that we have you there as an oddity is fun.
I know. You invited me to show off that you have all these cool friends.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, she's just someone that I've seen a few times. Yes. Yes, of course. And you see, when I ask people to come to things, they come. They arrive.
The fact that you're showing off this hot lady in your entourage to your ex-girlfriend means nothing. Nothing.
No, what? No, we were close friends, confidants, really. We talked about adopting a cat together, but
Right, so where shall we start in this ball? It's at Eleanor's, so I think maybe with Lieutenant Dunwoody.
Yes.
And Eleanor. Would that be a place to pick up?
That would make sense. My family is doing it to celebrate him, and so is this celebrating a recent achievement of yours, or have you just recently returned from sea and that's what we're celebrating?
I think I just received my commission.
Beautiful. I feel like this is taking place even before the ball really gets going. Maybe just like the hour or two beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
We have a moment together. While I'm waiting for all the rest of my family to arrive, the married ones, and my sister and youngest brother to finish getting ready. We're probably somewhere drawing room-ish. And we're alone, surprisingly. So, Captain, are you excited?
Lieutenant. It's lieutenant. I know I just got, but it says lieutenant on the paperwork.
Right, of course.
Yes.
I fear that may be something of a problem ongoing with your current situation.
I mean, right. I just,
People are here to celebrate you and will certainly want to do so at every opportunity.
I get so confused. I mean, I was only temporarily captain. But all right. I guess I should get used to it.
Indeed. And is there anyone you are particularly interested in being introduced to this evening? Quite a number of names are coming.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, who do you who? I've been at sea for so long. I don't know who any of these folks are. You're going to have to let me know.
Of course. Well, there is. A member of the peerage is coming. Lady Persephone Davenport.
Persephone Davenport?
Davenport, that is correct. And she is bringing a...
Oh my, what? Do you know? I proposed to her.
Recently? You only just arrived
No.
in town.
20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was 8. And we were in the solarium. And the light was coming through. And she seemed the most beautiful thing in the world to me. And I proposed to her then and there.
Yes. The light.
I suppose she remembers.
I'm sorry. What was
Does
the
she
question?
remember, you think? Do you think she remembers my proposal? You know what? You'll have to introduce me directly to her because it's been so long, but I bet I can jog her memory.
We can certainly try. I know a lot of her mind these days are taken up with family matters. I would not say more. But she is also bringing a young ward, a Lucy O'Shannon, I believe, who is apparently something of an actress. I do not know her. My brother, my eldest one, he has seen her perform several times in London and thinks that she is one of the greatest actresses of our age. He's only ever been to the theater twice to see her both times, so take that as you will.
Well, I would love to meet her. That sounds wonderful. I haven't seen much theater.
I'm sure they will be together, so that should be easy enough. And my relatives, the Huckleberries, shall be in attendance. I believe they probably actually made the very shoes you are wearing, sir.
You think so? Do they have a contract with the Navy?
They do indeed.
If they are tan shoes, they are our hide.
Oh, welcome, cousin. I did not. Excuse me for speaking about you while you were not in the room, but all good, I assure you. Are you excited for the ball tonight? We would use first names, wouldn't we? Yeah. Do I have a pet name for you? Are we close at all, Manny?
Yes, of course. Dukey. How about Dukey?
Are you excited for the ball this evening, Dukey?
Most certainly I am, man. I look forward to all these opportunities. You see, it's a distraction from my dad, who's on my case to get married. So definitely helps to see all the pretty faces and all the, I'm there to swill and partake of all these festivities that you have organized for me, my cousin, or for all of us.
Well, indeed, at last count, I believe there are 15 gentlemen and 13 ladies to be in attendance. So you may find it slightly difficult to get on someone's card, but just be proactive, I would say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that advice. I shall do my utmost to be so.
Maybe the entrance of Persephone into the room.
Oh yeah,
Not into the
like
drawing room, but like into the ballroom.
maybe we cut to like as you and I are sort of walking up to be announced, and I imagine you have my arm, and I sort of mirroring what the conversation was before, I say like, everyone says that you're the greatest actress of an age. And so I do hope that while everyone checks off your dance card this evening, that you remember my hospitality and kindness in inviting you this season. And then I smile as like my weird thin smile as they announce us into the party.
My dear Miss Davenport, I think that praise is like champagne. The warmer it is, the flatter it seems.
Ah, your effortless wit, one of the wonderful things they say about you. Um, I can't wait to see you in action.
You just did.
And then I sort of cast my eyes around. And I think I would give you like the download of who's who here. Um, like, you know, if I saw, would I see everyone on the other side of the room?
I think you can see everyone.
Gosh. So I'd tell you, um, oh gosh.
I am going to go ahead and spend a monologue token here, just so people can get used to it. So the monologue token is something that you spend, and you ask someone else, and to essentially, it's like an aside on stage. You basically step away from the action and think back about the question that I, Preston, am asking your character, and your character gives this monologue-ish speech. But I think this is the first time that Nora and Percy are really entering into a big society situation since they stopped seeing one another. They've probably seen each other in the streets, in passing, maybe at church or something, but this is the first time that they are going to be forced to directly interact. My question then is, what is Persephone suddenly feeling, or what is she remembering about those last, maybe their last intimate moments?
Oh gosh. I think she looks across the room and sees you sipping on whatever drink, uh, talking to someone else. And um I think it's like just pain, and embarrassment and anger, um, just kind of blindly in all directions. Um, the last the last things that she remembers were like, I think it didn't end cleanly as we can all imagine. So the last thing she remembers are just cutting words, uh, and sort of like I think maybe like there was a breaking of a priceless vase and like screaming. And then then the door slams and then I'm crying on the other side of the door. And I sort of compose myself um as I see you and I'm like, okay, and I start walking towards you across the room.
Is that our hostess, Miss
It is
Davenport?
indeed. I
That
would
great blue
very
stocking is our hostess? She seems as exciting as a damp Christmas cracker.
I should very much like for the two of you to meet. Um,
What have I ever done to hurt you so?
and I'm like kind of excited now, I guess, about this entire prospect. Nora,
Wait, and
it's
before you can do that, if I may,
of course, please, please.
I think Bertie holds out his hand and introduces himself to Lucy and says, "Hello, I'm Lieutenant Dunwoody. I don't know if you remember Persephone, but I proposed to you when you were
Oh.
10 and I was 8.
How could I forget?
My dear Captain Dunwoody, if the accounts in the Times are to be believed, I thought that was the
Lieutenant
boldest action you'd
Dunwoody,
ever
I believe.
taken.
Oh,
Actually,
I,
it's a
I,
Lieutenant Dunwoody.
I
Actually, I believe.
wait. I'm sorry. You have the advantage of me. I do believe did I do a wrong? Nora, please.
Not at all, Lieutenant. I believe you'll find that most women enjoy being reminded of their failed proposals.
Yeah, pardon, Lieutenant Dunwoody. This is Lady Persephone, Lady Persephone Dabbardcourt, and if I am not mistaken, though
Wait.
I've never seen the...
Which one is Lady Persephone? I'm sorry. I just haven't seen you for 20 years.
This is Lady Persephone, and if I am not mistaken, this is Miss Lucy O'Shannon, the actress.
Dear Lieutenant, I do hope that our cannons in the Royal Navy are better provisioned than the wit of their sailors.
Yes. Thank you, Mademoiselle O'Shannon.
Mademoiselle? Did you hear that? I believe she was saying that I was treasonous.
I'm sorry, what? I
Is the French style no longer?
I feel a
Nora,
little
is the French
faint.
style no longer in common? How am I to address the?
Please, Lieutenant, if you wouldn't mind, would you mind taking me away for a moment to lie down?
Certainly.
Yes, do. The poor boy is drowning. Ugh. Well, I'm sorry.
Where on earth did you find these people, Miss Davenport?
Oh, I didn't find them, I assure you. They found me. I abhor drama.
I was assured, go to the countryside. The flower of London goes to the countryside in the spring, and here I am. And these flowers are rather wilted castles, don't you think?
Oh, my dear, my dear. It is as festering a pit as any city, but it does smell nicer.
Oh, you've been to Dublin, then?
Oh, I am glad I brought you. Come with me. I believe there's an eligible at this event, and I'm scanning for Marmaduke.
Oh, yeah, my lady.
Were you here the whole time? Sorry, was your
Yes, I've been here. I've been beholden to all of your.
You've quite startled me.
Why, Mr. Huckleberry? I
Yes,
hadn't expected to meet you
he's a
here.
tradesman. I figure the two of you, you
I
know.
rather think not. His father is one of the most prestigious industrialists in the North, is what they tell me.
You're right, milady. Oh, you're right, miss. I am. Yes, it's our shoes. You see, everyone wears our shoes.
We are acquainted, Miss Davenport, me and Mr. Huckleberry.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Now this I must hear.
No, there's nothing to say. He was kind to me during the season, and yes, But we have lately fallen off in our correspondence, and you know how it is.
Fallen off correspondence is right. It's the correspondence that concerns me.
Well,
Be that as it may.
yes.
Enchanté, nice to see you. Again.
Drops into a curtsy, like kind of flustered. Well, I hope I shall have the honor of being asked for a dance later, Mr. Huckleberry.
Of course. Would you like to dance?
I rather think I would, yes. Anything to get away from
Shall we?
this.
We have some catching up to do.
Yes, rather.
How's your French friend?
My French friend.
Oh, the one that you introduced me to.
Oh, Eleanor. Not Eleanor. That we use that name. I'm sorry. Yes.
Celeste, I believe.
Celeste. Oh,
That's the name of the
Celeste.
lady.
Yes. She's broke, I'm afraid.
Oh, so I gather. Yes.
Yes. Well, you see, she'd never played whist before.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know that you could play it for money. She
Yeah.
also didn't know how much money you could play it for. Do you like these pearls, by the way?
Oh, they're wonderful. They're beautiful.
Celeste did too.
She did.
She did.
Well, I gather she has collected a number of letters from all over the continent, and then some more from these isles. Definitely from some very well-known people.
Do you know Celeste? She just loves to write to people. She is a collector. She likes to collect signatures of individuals.
So I gather, but I shall be very cross if she ever opens her mouth about the letters that I wrote to her. I hope you can make that abundantly clear to her. If not, it's my father who will make it very clear to her.
I'll have to speak to her. I hope you weren't offended by the acquaintance.
Not offended, just merely inconvenienced.
Well, I had no idea, Dookie. I had no idea.
Oh, that's all right. It's not your fault. But just do be careful who you introduce me to. I have a reputation to keep.
Well, Duke, I'd have to know what kind of reputation you wish to keep, so that I might adjust the friends I introduce you to.
Oh, I intend to keep a good name so that I one day may get married to someone with a great, good old English title, and so that my child could one day be counted among the peers of this land. And that's a wish of my father's, and I shall not cross him. So do introduce me to any young ladies that might be so willing to go out to dance with me, and if they have good backgrounds, good, if they are titled, I'd be interested in cultivating the acquaintance, and you shall be richly rewarded.
You want a virginal, broke, titled lady. Look back at Persephone, who can have children.
And Persephone's like unattractively eating grapes, like in the corner, and watching people dance.
Persephone. I see. She is very intriguing, but I don't think Papa or Mama would want me to marry someone who's almost a spinster. But I could use her.
What about our hostess, Miss
What about who?
Mourier? She's not titled, but definitely upper class, you know.
That's a good point. I haven't thought about her, but I should. I would say she's rather attractive.
She apparently was going to marry some Royal Navy lieutenant, but he buggered off to Canada or something.
Oh my, to Canada. Oh,
Maybe it was Australia.
oh, that sounds about right. I've heard that too. Maybe I should ask her to dance.
I think that would be an excellent idea.
Good point. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go ask her. Let's see if we can find Nora.
Well, Nora would have been taken away by Bertie into another room where she could lie down for a moment. No, Bertie, there's better air in here. I don't need the fanning. Thank you very much.
You sure? You sure? All right. Can I get you water?
Please.
Some rum?
That too.
All right.
What did he say? Rum? Oh God.
Yes.
Okay.
I have it. There's a trick that the surgeon used to do. It revives anyone. It revived someone we thought was a corpse. I'll get it right away.
Oh, it was gonna be the death of me.
And he brings back a concoction of like rum, eggs, and probably a little gunpowder.
You give this to a lady?
Yes.
Well, I think you probably just smell it and you're like, ah! And then you're awake, right? You're huh?
What is this meant to do? Is it meant to be greater than the illness that afflicts me?
I mean, kind of. When they beat the call to action, you have to be awake. And I've been told that for the ladies, your battlefield is out there, is the ball. So I'm trying to return you to the field.
At least you know one thing about good society. But really, Lieutenant, Captain, whatever you are, please, do take some care. This is not a naval ship. This is a ball with some of my dearest family's friends, and we are trying to introduce you. I thought that my father would have discussed this with you in advance, or you could have had the good sense, but forgive my forwardness, but have you spent much time in society?
None, miss. I've read many books.
Oh, you poor thing.
I've read Shakespeare and Webster, the Cavalier poets mostly. Alfred Ben wrote a wonderful play.
Then you are being, if you'll pardon me, you are being thrown to the sharks. I believe you can understand that expression.
Yes,
and
yes.
Tonight, it may be better to listen and observe and be prudent of those virtues for the time being.
Right.
And to answer a question that you gave a few hours ago, I do not think Lady Persephone remembers your previous engagement.
Right. Yes, I gathered, but I will hold my tongue if I have nothing. If I'm not sure of where I am, I shall hold my tongue.
That may be best. Perhaps you should go talk to your captain. He can probably offer words of encouragement and advice as well.
I think he's engaged otherwise right now. Yeah, well, I'll try. I'll try. Thank you, and I'll return to the bowl as soon as I make. Can you make it back yourself,
I
or
will
do you
be
need?
fine. I just need a few moments more. Thank you.
Right, right, right. Thank you. And I fuck off to another part of the ball where my captain is in a
Ah,
wheelchair.
yes. Can we do that? Or are we doing that scene?
Sure, if you want.
Nora's definitely going to need a few more minutes before she returns.
Okay. Yeah. He's drinking something, sitting in his wheelchair. Uh. Ah. Oh, my boy. What's my nickname for you? Do I have one?
If you like me, you call me Bertie.
Bertie. How are ya?
I'm all right,
Oh,
Captain.
Woody.
I think I may have made a mess of it, mess of things.
There's choppy waters out there.
Yeah, there sure are. And you don't know where the shoals are.
No, no, and I regret not teaching you better manners. You're more suited for a ship full of sailors than you are for this sort of event. You're a captain now. Look at
Oh,
you. You're
thank
shaking in your
you.
boots. Stand up straight. You have legs, use them. It's not like the storybooks. You read all of them, but it's not like them. Oh, you poor thing.
But what are the stories for if not to teach us to model our behavior after? Why would anyone write such a thing down if you're not supposed to do it?
Oh, well, you know, real life is different. I mean, you read the stories about naval battles too, and then you were in a couple.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
that those two are very different things.
Right, right. Yes, you're not supposed to model the behavior of the loser in any conflict. Yes, the vanquished should not be followed. You're right.
Precisely,
You're right. You're right.
I think. Oh,
Been such
I'm
a
worried
fool,
about you.
Captain. How are you? How have you been? I worry so about you. How's the leg?
Ah, oh,
How's the
don't.
arm?
You know, I can feel it today, so that's good.
But it's not. But it's no longer there, Captain.
Oh, would you look at that? I'm all right, Bertie. Stop worrying about me.
All
I'm
right,
done,
Captain. All right.
spent in the service of His Majesty the King.
But I just need one piece of advice, please. I don't know how to handle the ball in reference to getting ahead in the Admiralty. I don't understand how the two are even connected. I know you said that achieving things at the ball would lead to success with getting a ship, but how do they? What is the
There's a
line? What
lot
is
of
the
ways
rope
to get a
that goes?
hold of a boat, and only one of them is knowing how to sail or knowing how to lead men. The rest of them have a lot more to do with this, and a lot more to do with, you know, takes money to have sails, takes money to put the planks of a boat together. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah,
What it takes
no,
to get out onto the water? It's these
I'd never.
people.
Huh.
Look at these dresses. One of these dresses could probably provide the sails for an entire vessel. I'm not trying to don't think of it that okay.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
mind.
you're right. You're
I'm
right. Yeah, no,
drinking.
I'm sorry. I think I understand, Captain. Thank you.
Now go out there and be victorious. And I wish I could have taught you better.
I would offer to Manny that because you saw Captain Bertie come out from where Miss Nora is hidden away, you could speak to the lieutenant while he's speaking to the captain. You could interject yourself into that and ask to be introduced, have a bit of conversation, ask where Nora is, as an example.
Of course, yeah, good point. Oh, Lieutenant, do we know each other, by the way? Or we haven't introduced?
I feel you have the advantage of me. Oh, right, I'm lieutenant because you see my insignia. Yes, I am called Lieutenant Dunwoody, Lieutenant Commander. This is my previous captain, Captain Fitzwilliam.
Captain?
And you are?
Oh, I am Marmaduke Huckleberry. I'm a relation of Miss Nora's. And by the way, I've been looking for Miss Nora. Would you happen to know where she's at?
Yes, I left her in that salon over there. She had been taken briefly ill. She's recovering in there.
Oh no, I must go and check on her. I hope she has everything that she needs.
I do believe she does. I provided her with everything she asked for, but I dare say if you are her relation, perhaps you should look in on her?
I think so. Well, nice to meet you, Captain and Lieutenant. Okay, and then I tool off to Nora's room, and I knock. Hello.
Yes, come in. And Nora is stretched out on a divan or a couch or what have you.
Miss Nora, I hear you are indisposed. Everything all right?
Oh, it is that lieutenant.
Oh.
He immediately professed his...
Oh no, did he propose to you?
Not to me, to Lady Persephone, of all people.
I see. Obviously, I'm relieved.
And apparently they knew each other from childhood.
You don't say.
She could not remember a thing, and he blurts out that he asked for her hand when he was 8 years old. And
8 years old?
He half expects her to keep to that.
Oh, the man is a fool or insane. I wouldn't call him ungallant because he's, of course, a serviceman. And I hear he's served with distinction at high seas. But perhaps he just doesn't know the ways of our society.
He is very skilled. There is no doubt of that. Everyone speaks of him so very highly, and one would think that he would be, perhaps, with all things, that he would be quite the gentleman, but they say he has no vices, yet that seems to be his one vice. He cannot hold his tongue or has given it any training at all.
Oh. Maybe my cousin, we should take him under our wings. His heart seems to be in the right place. Maybe, who knows? Maybe your friend Persephone might want to make better acquaintance with him now that he is
I think not.
captain
of
the Royal Navy.
After the exchange, I believe that, well, first impressions are everything. It would take rather a lot of convincing. But I did send him out to his captain, who I do not know personally, but as a captain, he is sure to have more sense, at least.
I should hope so. Yes, I did see both of them outside, just outside your room. They were having a chat, and I think the good captain was drilling some sense into the lieutenant's head. But I really like the man. I think he is He's just a misguided soul. But surely tonight, at your ball, we could certainly find someone suitable for him. And speaking of the ball, would you like to? Can I have the honor of a dance with you, Nora?
I think I am somewhat recovered, and I am not presently engaged. Certainly, Dookie. Let us take to the floor.
Shall we? Okay, so we go and dance. And as we are dancing, do we discuss any politics, anything that's going on, or?
I think we give. Let's see. Who is there? Anyone else who would like to have a scene with either one of their characters? Sorry, their connections, or with one of the other main characters right at this moment? She would definitely be invited, but as Nora is engaged, is she meeting with someone else first? She knows Persephone closest.
It's a country dance, you know.
It is.
It's lines and people exchange partners.
Mm.
All those scenes in Austen where people are actually talking during a dance, they're not talking while they're dancing, they're talking while they're in line.
Mm-hmm.
True fact.
That makes so much more sense.
Of course it does, yeah.
I'm always thinking of them like out of breath, panting, like skipping around.
Could do that, or if you want something else in there.
Maybe I would think it would be best maybe after the dance. She would probably make some sort of grand entrance. And Nora
You guys maybe have your dance, and it gets interrupted when the Duchess comes in with her useless husband.
And Nora excuses herself from her cousin, and rushes over simply because they
Nora.
Helena
gives you a big hug because we knew each other back in the day. We're intimate.
I am almost half surprised that you're actually here. I sent my letter thinking just potential that you might have come into the area recently, and here you are.
Oh, well, Georgie, he does love to come out to the country. He has such fond memories of our courtship. He can't keep away.
I remember it well. And I have still kept those secrets.
Now, how are you, my dear? I saw you dancing with that young man.
Yes, that is my cousin. Getting used to names. Marmaduke Huckleberry. He is
kissing cousins or kissing cousins.
Nothing. Not kissing cousins yet. No.
Is he eligible?
He is.
Is he
I
rich?
believe he is eligible, and he is quite wealthy. Actually, he somewhat came into his fortune, but his father also seems to be something of a great entrepreneur. I'm not so sure about Marmaduke, though. Seems to be a bit more of a. I don't know if the term playboy was used then, but I will say playboy.
Rake. A rake, though?
Rake.
Him?
Do not be deceived. He can certainly put on airs and a good face when he needs to, but there are rumors, I believe.
Close up a lorgnette. Well, does it really matter?
And he spends most of his time in London anyway, although you run in very different circles. I doubt you would have heard anything about him.
Oh, rather. Her Highness was saying to me just the other day. Well, I don't want to bore you.
No, by all means. Come. Let us sit, and I will have this. The servants get us some refreshments.
I noticed that Miss Davendridge is here too.
I mean, it was impossible not to invite her to such an event.
It's a little mawkish of you, Nora. She's not worthy of your time.
I will. Oh goodness. Nora blushes. I'm putting it behind me as best I can, and I think it is time that I began to take some of my suitors a little more seriously.
Well, you know, she's long on title, but have you met her uncle?
No, I have not. Is there anything I should particularly know?
Well, as Her Highness likes to say, her royal father and the Duke were great companions. I think I need to say very little else to you, dear. If it were not treason to speak so of those gentlemen.
Certainly.
Princess Charlotte is a lovely young lady. Her royal father is a perfectly adequate king.
Yes, and I'm certain we will all be very excited for her first child. We are expectant of it. We'll continue the bloodline.
Having met Duke William, yes, let us hope that the Duke of Clarence does not in fact succeed. That man drips fish odor around him. He's so enamored of his naval title.
Nora, it's been too long. You will have to tell me everything of London. Perhaps not tonight. Is there anyone that you would care to meet?
In this place?
I understand. Would you
half of them are childhood friends that I would rather forget the acquaintance of, and the other half are the kind of acquaintances that they make as adults.
I scarce believe I can be saying this, but would you perhaps like to meet Lieutenant Albert Dunwoody, who is just come to us recently?
Oh, the great hero, yes.
I must confess I do have some hesitation.
Georgie was telling me about him. He was in all the papers. He did something frightfully brave, very nautical. I don't remember what it was.
It is indeed very, very nautical. You may find him a little coarse, but I hope and pray that his heart is in the right place.
Oh, well, coarse is entertaining.
Very well then. Is the lieutenant still with his captain?
No, he's standing further towards the center of the room like a lost puppy.
Has Marmaduke gone to the lieutenant to give him some comfort by presence?
By all means, yes. I'm thinking, I'm so saddened to hear this story of this young man who knows nothing of our ways, and let me go and see if I can make friends with him. So I walk to the lieutenant and, say, hi there. I don't know if they would say hi there. I would say, ahoy. Ahoy, sailor.
Hello, sailor.
Yes, ahoy to you too. Ahoy, hoy. Yes, very wicked.
So I hear you were exceptionally kind to my cousin, Miss Nora, and I must thank you. She mentioned you looked after her while she fainted, and you brought her a bottle of smelling salts and revived her back to life. So I'm very grateful to you, and I should like to be your friend.
That is very good to hear, Mr. Huckleberry.
Oh, please call me Dukey.
Dukey. Oh, is that? Yeah. Are we to share our Christian names?
By all means,
you make. If I am to call you Dukey, then I suppose you should call me Bertie.
Oh,
So
Bertie.
very, very well met, Dookie.
Well, that's great. I used to I used to have a friend whose name was also Bertie when I was at Oxford. And you do remind me of my old friend Bertie. So here we are.
Oh, was
Aha.
he an Albert or was he a Herbert?
No, neither. Bertram.
Adalbert? Bertram. Bertram. Yes. The lost tribe of Bertrams, we sometimes call them. It's a little bit of a Bertie joke.
Oh, I see. An insider joke.
Yes.
I see.
Only for us Berties. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that your relative Nora had spoken well of me.
She thinks that you are such a gallant man, and you and your captain, make her feel a lot safer in this country house. That, of course, her family owns, but nevertheless, it's always good to have young, strapping men with big swords around,
Oh,
especially those with nautical experience.
yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. I thought I had just cocked it all up, honestly. I don't.
Lucy comes sailing up. Marmaduke, the music's striking up again, and Nora is unaccompanied. Go! Shoves you in the small of the back.
Good point, old bean. Let me go chase after my cousin.
Lucy watches him go, and then without thinking about it, oh, Lord love a duck, how these gobshites conquered Ireland, I'll never know. Oh! How are you, Lieutenant? You look flustered.
Yes, I apologize, Miss O'Shannon, for my behavior earlier.
How was your... Oh. Well, frankly, Lieutenant, I was just having the piss of you,
We do that on land too. Oh,
my goodness!
It's so hard to figure this out.
You are truly like a shipwreck on dry stones. The tide has swept out and left you exposed to the air and the elements.
I don't know how all of you all live here. It's so. It's like going to another planet, like going to the moon or something.
I would come and meet the greatest naïf since Voltaire finished writing up his notes.
Yes. I am the blank slate, as they say.
Lieutenant Dunwoody, you clearly need a minder.
Oh, you think so?
Wait. No, Father worked in Dublin port for a while. You need a tender. A tender.
A tender?
Like a ship tender. That's what you...
No, I get the cut of your jib.
That's very nautical of you.
Yeah.
I do believe I could scrape you off and salt my meat. That was a joke.
Yeah. I had untangled it. Thank you. It helps to know, though.
I think you and I should become friends, Lieutenant.
Oh. Well, that would be lovely. If it is permitted, I would appreciate it. I mean, I took 2 French ships as prizes. Once the money comes out of the Admiralty, it'll be a fair sum. If I were just a poor Yorkshire farmer, I would be able to live for the rest of my life. But I don't know if I want to go back to York.
You're from York?
Yeah. It's they kind of beat the accent out of me.
It's not as if I'm from London myself.
Oh. So then we find ourselves both strangers in a strange land.
Oh, rather not. Well, there's nothing
Oh,
strange
right.
about London. London
Not to
is.
you, not to you. But this land, where we are now, this is not London. This isn't Southampton. This is wherever this is. They have such queer notions about.
Country the world over are all the same. You could find the most regicidal French Republican, but stick him down in a country town and he'll start muttering about potatoes and yelling about who he has to invite to his country balls, where they celebrate regicide and atheism or whatever else it is they do.
It is much the same aboard ship when we get a new press going on. One group of fools pulled in from the shore is just the same as another.
Yes, I lost 2 good cousins to a press gang.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it turned out quite all right. One of them is currently now a minister in Boston, and the other is in the Newfoundland Squadron.
Well, good for them.
Perhaps he knows. Miss de Maurier's ex-fiancée.
Oh, if maybe you could you could make an introduction or something, since you know the one and the other.
Eleanor de Maurier.
Yes, Eleanor, my host, our host.
Is that the kind of person that interests you at a thing like this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where my duty is supposed to lie. I have
there
my
are
captain
country
telling
girls,
me.
there are country girls, but she's one of the most country girlish girls I've ever seen.
I don't know what direction I'm supposed to go in, to be perfectly frank.
Well, the first thing is you have to ask a girl to dance. Do you know how to do that?
I have been taught the Galliard.
No, not
by book.
to dance. Do you know how to ask a girl to dance?
Oh. Do you just say, "Would you like to dance?"
I would actually.
Oh,
my arm through yours.
Meanwhile, I think Marmaduke was pushed forward, and it came to a head that Nora had to introduce the Duchess to him first of all. Does that seem natural?
Great, I'm up. Okay, sure.
Your Grace.
She sticks at her. She's already got her hands jabbed out at you.
Yes, I did excuse myself from a dance with my cousin to greet you, Helena. This is Mr. Yes, it would be Mr. or Sir.
No, Mr.
Mr. Marmaduke Huckleberry, my cousin by marriage.
Your Grace, the pleasure is all mine. I've heard so many things about you.
Not at all. I not Huckleberry's hide works.
Huckleberry is of Pembrokeshire.
Oh yes, I've heard of you. Georgie is always talking about how you have some new shoe last manufactory system. It sounded very technical.
Oh, that's right. I do see His Grace. From time to time, I run into him at the Drones Club in London.
Oh, I had no idea you were a drone.
Yes, pretty much. Yes, but I do see your husband, His Grace, who's always there making a quick joke or swilling the club's port.
Well, that's George for you.
He's quite a hand at rummy.
Yes, well, he's a very clever player in that he knows who to lose to and who to win from.
Well, I can.
Something you
test
should
it
keep
out.
in mind, Mr. Huckleberry. Something you should keep in mind.
I shall do very well to remember that advice. Nora, would you like
You
to
want
put
me
it to
to
practice?
practice?
It takes practice to play rummy.
Her eyes like narrowed just for a second, and then, not quite what I was thinking, but a game does sound pleasant at the moment. And she looks over and sees Lucy dragging the lieutenant onto the dance floor. We are delayed, unfortunately, Helena. We will have to wait until the next dance for me to make a proper introduction.
Oh, but the Écossaise is about to begin. Isn't that your favorite dance, Nora?
Tis.
Well, here's Mr. Huckleberry, and here's you. Shove. I'll give you a resolve token if you desperately want. If you're desperately looking for one.
No, it's more that I believe he has to be the one to ask officially. So she is waiting politely for that.
Oh, you should definitely ask my dear friend Nora. Shove.
Oh, Nora, would you like to? Could I have a pleasure of yet another dance with you?
I find myself again unengaged. As if you'll excuse us, Helena.
Do enjoy yourself.
Thank you, Your
Ta-ta.
Grace.
So we've several of us find ourselves on the dance floor, but we haven't heard from Talia in a while. Talia, do you want to play?
We need to definitely catch up. I think we should catch up with Persephone, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, what am I doing? I've been watching everyone and judging them from the sidelines this whole time. And I want to get to Marmaduke because I'm thinking that he might be a good candidate for my tutelage.
Want to pick up right after the dance, then? You could go and intercept him.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Right after the dance. As as he and Nora are like,
Oh, my goodness.
disengaging.
It's such a lively dance, that one. I do enjoy it. And you dance very well. I'm pleasantly...
Marmaduke.
thank you.
I'm so glad that I just happened to run into you right now, and I sort of like bodily get in the way of Eleanor, um, and just like not looking at her or acknowledging her in any real way. I was wondering if I could chat with you for a moment. I'm so curious about your father's business and everything.
Oh, certainly, Lady Persephone. Would you like a drink?
Yes, I would. How lovely of you to ask. That's something that a young gentleman should keep keep in mind, is to be kind and um, anticipatory of a lady's needs.
Oh, yes, that's all I learned at Oxford. How to mix drinks. So, what can I mix for
Is that
you?
what they're teaching there these days?
Oh,
Well,
absolutely, yes. The history classes, the English history, Latin, all that was so boring. Every lecture was followed by a bout of drinking among students, and sometimes our professors joined us because they were equally bored.
If
wow.
you will
Well,
excuse me,
Of
I will
course.
let you two at it. And
oh, oh, Eleanor, I
she's already gone.
hardly even noticed you were there. Well, what a shame.
So,
She
my
and
lady,
I
what
were
can I
once.
get for you? Sherry? Scotch?
Oh, Scotch.
Screwdriver?
No, a sherry will be quite enough for me. Thank you.
Okay, well,
And I
I
sip
fill
at
a
my
glass and I
sherry.
offer Persephone a glass of sherry. Cheers, my lady.
Yes, yes, to the season. It should be very interesting, I imagine, what with all these sundry characters we have collected around us. And you, with your deadline, I've heard, of course, that your father has a little, uh, carrot, shall we say, for you to
Yeah.
find someone at the end of the season.
Yes. Have you someone in mind?
Oh, well, now, if I had a lead like that, I would just give it away for free. I think that you could be quite something if directed properly. Yes, I might have someone in mind.
Oh, I should be most obliged, my lady. But remember, there have to be at least um, the oldest daughter of an earl,
Ah, yes, yes.
or perhaps a viscount. But my
Oh,
parents
yes.
wouldn't stoop to anyone below a viscountess.
What about? Oh, I actually have a family that goes all the way to the crown. So
Oh,
I'm sure we could set you up with someone.
well, now, that's too high. I do want my freedom, of
Ah,
course.
no,
I
no,
don't want to
young
be married
man.
to a
Nothing
princess
is
and
too high.
be in mortal danger of being stabbed in the back because I've been dancing with some vaudeville girls. I do not intend to stop my lifestyle.
Oh no. Oh no. Now, your private life is yours alone, but society shouldn't know about it, dear. You have to be more careful about these things.
Hmm. That is quite true. But who do you have in mind? Do you have a person in mind, or maybe many people? Oh, that's a beautiful cat.
I'll put my. It is a beautiful cat. A
Is it
beautiful
is a
cat walks through
is
the
a tale of
ballroom
two
at this
tales? I saw
moment.
Rocky's tail in the background and the
Oh,
cat's
yeah,
tail.
Rocky is having
Sorry, I
connections
didn't
with.
mean to interrupt your speech, my
Oh,
lady.
I know. No, no. Um, uh, there is no such thing as setting your sights too high. You are a young man of means. Um, you should be able to have anyone you like. And of course, you'll remember the friends that helped you get there, I would imagine.
Yes, that's what Beau Brummel told me. Maybe I should ask Mr. Brummel if he knows any if he has any secrets in his kerchief pocket for
Well,
ensnaring and marrying. But he himself is a bachelor, so
we
who am
don't
I?
talk to him anymore, for reasons. Uh, but yes, yes, I could think of something, I'm sure.
Well, how about you introduce me to them? Would they be here tonight at this ball?
I have no idea. I am just making stuff up. Would I know someone who would be eligible, who would be at this ball, who would not be his
Honestly,
cousin?
I think
Or
that
is it
might be
really?
I think that might be like what we could fade out on, right? Like you
Okay, yeah.
grabbing him by the arm and just be like,
Of course.
This
you know,
way.
um, I feel like that unless people feel like there's any unfinished business, that might be a good place to stop the novel chapter. I mean, we've set a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff up. Lucy and Bertie had a meet cute. I know who my second connection is going to be. It's got to be this mysterious Celeste girl. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's call that novel chapter. I'm gonna
Yeah.
mark that off on the list. So before we go tonight, let's work on reputation. So your reputation, we're gonna there's some criteria that you're gonna use to figure out whether or not you earned a positive tag, a negative tag, or both. You can earn one of each, but only one of each. Now the way that you can find this out, it's fun. You'll notice that you have these little positive and negative reputation tag areas, right? And there's a header that says positive and a header that says negative. If you hover your mouse over those headers, you will see a little note appear that will tell you what the criteria are for that condition. So like if I hover over my positive header, I see I get a positive connection if I sacrificed or denied my own desires to please someone of higher rank, acted in the service of duty and morality in a way that compromised my desires, or acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship in doing so. Here's a little hint. The last two are the same for everybody, but the first one is unique for your family background. And the same is true for negative, in which case mine are presumed to order, instruct, or make a demand of someone of a higher rank, acted in contravention of society's conventions, or acted on a desire in a way that compromised your duty and morality. Now, I honestly don't think Bertie is a higher rank than me, because, you know, there's no Yorkshireman yet who's been born who's higher rank than an Irish woman.
Yeah, I don't think I got. I mean, is Mr. Huckleberry a higher rank than I?
Yeah.
You're an officer and a gentleman, and he's just from a rich family.
I think so. Probably, yeah. Not, I wouldn't say a higher rank.
Yeah.
Just a person.
It depends on what degree of drilling down into British class consciousness you want to get to, but
yeah, no, I don't think I don't think I went up at all. Yeah.
Once the big divide is: are you gentle or are you are you not?
Nora, Persephone, Helena, or the Duke, maybe. That would be it.
Yes.
Those are the only people I could get from. So yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, I would think you, Nora and Persephone both would agree to a negative tag.
Oh yeah.
But did you secure a personal invitation from someone of a higher social status than you?
No.
Did I? Nora?
Nora?
This party is being thrown for you.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You can gain both reputations
that is correct.
In a novel.
Oh, I know I'm getting both, because it's clearly I acted in a coarse and uncouth manner, but I also was doing something it was very difficult for me to do. So how do I mark these again?
You just type them in. You're already supposed to have two to begin with, but you didn't get around to that. But you just put them in. See, I like how I have sparkling and slanderous in my little type. So it's the same thing there. You just put it. You just create a tag and put it in there. Maybe wondering why that middle line there is gray. When you get to that, when you get enough reputation conditions that you get to that, then you get to choose, reputation tags. You get to choose one of the reputation conditions, whether positive or negative. And those just give you a little extra stuff. That's true. Some of them are fun. And as a quick little bit of note, I changed Marmaduke's role from dependent to socialite, because I think that fits the fiction a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. You definitely seem to be socialite rather than somebody sponging off a relative, so it should still work. It should be fine.
I think so.
Yeah.
Is all over the place a negative? Like
it can be.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, I think so. Distracted, sure. Yeah, definitely. All right. Looks like most people are somewhat shady. Well, not Bertie and not Nora. Everybody else is a shady bitch, and I believe that was borne out by the events of this chapter. So,
just so we can go over our reputation tags.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll start off since I opened my mouth, and I will go over the ones that I originally took, which were learned and temperamental. Learned obviously being the positive and temperamental the negative. And
really though.
we lost someone.
Liam.
There, just making sure.
What?
No, you're here.
Okay.
And I didn't feel that I acted against my family's wishes or against society in general, so I took a positive tag, and I took cordial. Just barely making it through with these difficult people around me.
Well, I started with sparkling and slanderous, and I have added stiletto, wit, and sycophantic. I got a theme.
And alliteration.
Yeah,
That's the theme.
that's it.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with more negatives. I mean, honestly, the whole Babe in the Woods thing with screwing everything up kind of fits, and like even no matter how many times I did it, it was still the same thing. Because I put odd troops and then ballroom bravery.
Ballroom bravery, like Persephone is ladylike, meddlesome, but
yeah.
now
And now I'm
desperate.
desperate because I was seeing like talking to talking to people that I probably normally wouldn't be talking to.
Coming to this party was a little bit of coke.
And that was, yeah. I mean, the fact that I'm even here, I've brought like this young thing from the city with me. I think it's a bit obvious. Everyone can smell the desperation on me.
What is this pop culture reference? I'm not catching.
J.K. Rowling's new Private Eye novel, which is 1,000 pages long, which
Yeah.
what? And B is like half printed out tweets, and C is the mystery is about a internet animator who is attacked by the woke mob and then murdered.
Oh my god, the woke mob. The
like,
woke mob.
You couldn't
guys.
fucking make that up. If you made that up, if you said like Joe Rowling is going to write a novel about being murdered on the internet, and people would be like, "Wait, like Gretchen Felker Martin wrote about in her book," and people would be like, "Yeah, like that."
Yeah. It's brilliant.
So Marmaduke, you had easygoing and vapid skirt chaser as your initial conditions, both of which I like. And now we've added eligible as a positive condition, which seems right, and all over the place as a negative condition, which yeah.
I guess that's how the character is evolving.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
Without my control.
That's how this happens. It's great. So what we'll do is when we pick up next time, we will create some rumors about our group. It's my favorite phase of the game. Yeah. No, it's
very exciting.
It's my least favorite part, but other people love it, so it's fine. And then we'll write some letters, and then we'll have another novel chapter. So that'll be our objective for next time.
Yay!
So much fun, guys. Thank you,
That was
Manny.
great.
You don't seem to be scared, so we'll pick this up with you next week. And I'm looking forward to this. This is great. Everybody is terrible. It's going to be wonderful. So, good night, everyone. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week. I don't think I've played with too many people who have an IMDb page, but do you have a bacon number? Because mine is like 3.
Oh, wow, no. I mean, probably, but no.
Yeah, it turns out Alec Trebek was in a bunch of projects with people who also played with Kevin Bacon. So my bacon number is like 3. So I like to say, don't worry about the stuff, because you know what? I can fix it in post. So.
Oh, no one took the reconcile person.
No. The hedonist hedonist was available. Do you know how many trash fires I play? It's like a trope for me.
I'm surprised we don't see a great light coming out of some apartment on 2nd Avenue. We're like, oh, that's Kat's house.
I got to play a trash fire air when I was doing that Tolstoy game with Haley and V, and then I'm like, as soon as I had a plot point thingy, I'm just like, so I'm just gonna change to hedonist. That makes sense, right, everybody?
Did she put the accent on the wrong syllable of Charlotte? Charlotte.
And she did it on purpose because
Why are you
I know.
obsessed with that poor girl?
Yeah.
Just because you've never seen her doesn't mean that
Anyway,
you get to know anything about her.
Admiral Billy is going to be king eventually. Don't worry about him. So speaking of Dickens characters, apparently my connection is a visitor from Planet Dickens.
From Planet Dickens. Newgate. Well, it also changed a lot during this period too.
Yeah.
I was reading, it's like went back and forth.
Well, there's like there's multiple so like a sloop is also a kind of ship, but like a sloop of war was anything below a frigate, basically. Yeah. As long as it was big enough to. It gets complicated, man. It's like I could tell you all sorts of things about the rigging of ships, but we're not playing Master and Commander Society, so
we could all be dudes.
About that which we cannot speak.
At least you know one thing about good society.
I'm sorry.
Credits roll.
Title screen.
Episode 1.
I mean, to be fair, we now have new standards for cope. Like you didn't, for example, write a 1,000-page book that's half printed out tweets about how people were mean to you on the internet.
Not that anyone knows about.
Like some people did.
Yeah.
Anyway, the advantage of recording is I'll fix that in post. That will go to the blooper reel.